top slasher horror villains from our favorite horror movies. All right, first is Kathy Bates from Misery. She only had interactions with maybe one or two people, but she's fucking terrifying. I'm going to put her in the B. She's very good in the movie, and no matter how you think of it, as far as her kill count or what goes, she's fucking terrifying. She's a fucking psycho in the movie. Chucky from Child's Play. He does kill a lot of people, but, I'd say he's a B character. Freddy Krueger. He is in the S League. Very unique character. Very unique how he taunts and attacks his victims and how he gains power through them being scared in their nightmares. The more scared they are, the powerful he becomes. And he basically has a free, open sandbox to terrorize them and kill them. Freddy Krueger is in the S category. Ghostface is scary because the mystery off the rip he casts. No one knows who he is. People are scared of him. He is able to keep his identity hidden for a long time and able to terrorize the town and his victims. Love the Silence of the Lambs. If any of you guys have seen any of my videos, any of my discussions, you guys know how I feel about the Silence of the Lambs, one of my favorite movies of all time. But Hannibal Lecter, you don't see too much of him in action. Strictly talking about the movie Silence of the Lambs, not any of the spin-offs or TV shows or whatever. A villain, I'd say he's a C category. Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Very psychological, very creepy. Terrorizes his family and anyone that comes within the grounds of the hotel. And for that, I'd say he still gets in the A category, just because he's that creepy. Jason Voorhees. I do like Jason Voorhees. I'm not the biggest fan of the Friday the 13th movies, but how the origins of Jason Voorhees and him becoming a slasher and a killer, and the victims he basically kills, it's very iconic and very, very creepy and very entertaining, if you will. So he is in the S category for me. He really is. And it's no surprise thus far is my S category. One of, these are three of the biggest slashers in horror. Jaws is one of the greats. S. Especially the first movie alone. Very iconic, very scary. Oh, the music just sends chills down my spine right now. It's not what you see, but how you see it. And that's what makes this character, this villain, great. The shark, you see it sparingly throughout the movie, but towards the end, you see it a lot more as it comes to the surface more. And we see it more, and so do the fishermen, too, as they're trying to kill it, as it's coming to the surface more. And with that, the scenes are really effective and really suspenseful and scary, too, especially for it being such an old movie. The Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. This might trigger some people, or surprise some people, if you will. This movie, the first movie and the second movie, if you will, are very underrated, I think. And even the character alone are very underrated. He's got some crazy abilities and is very, very scary and creepy within the movie. And very similar to Jaws, he is shown sparingly throughout the first movie. But when you do see him, it's very effective. He has some surprising abilities and some surprising scenes. And very creepy and disturbing. His movements, his aura, if you will. And very solid origin story on how he gets his power and how he gains control. And terrific. Jigsaw, not that effective for me. Doesn't do it. Really doesn't. Leatherface, one of the creepiest characters probably on this list. That is because you don't really know that much about him. But just the fact that he runs around with a chainsaw killing people. Leprechaun, sorry. Doesn't do it for me. Didn't watch the movies. The one, the only Michael Myers. What more do you want from a character in one of the most iconic horror movies of all time? His origin takes place on the scariest day of the year and causes the most havoc because his power is at its highest on Halloween. He wreaks havoc on Haddonfield, and he is one of the most iconic, one of the most ruthless slashers on this list, and one of my personal favorites. Luke Skarsgård, Pennywise, solid. Very effective, very creepy, acting well done. I give that an A. Alien S. It's a perfect organism. The crazy fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. That is in the S category. The Terrifier. S. Very unique, very scary. The facial expressions, everything. But how each character dies in a different way. This is just my opinion on some of the classic and new up-and-coming slashers within the horror realm. But it's safe to say that all these characters have their, own abilities, own attributes,